So, you've got £100 in your pocket and a very specific itch to scratch. You want a dive watch, a proper one, not something that folds after a drizzle or looks like it came free with a magazine. You want 200 meters water resistance, actual specs and a bit of personality. Something that won't just survive your next beach holiday, but might actually outlive your suitcase. No usual suspects. I'm looking at you, Casio Duro and Invicta Pro diver. Just proper budget bangers with tool watch attitude, cool colours and real chops. Let's dive into the deep end and see what £100 can actually buy. Let's kick things off with something strong. Fun? Check. Capable? Check. Affordable? Big check. This is the new Freediver, a 40mm 200-meter dive watch from Singapore-based brand Ratio. Sapphire crystal, screw-down crown and the ever-reliable NH35 movement ticking inside. No nonsense, no gimmicks, just proper tool watch vibes. And the price, £76. That leaves you enough in your £100 budget to slap it on a NATO, throw in a colourful tropic strap and still have change for a pint on the way home. And the colour options, utter chaos. We're talking blue, green, pink, yellow, even mother of pearl. Think 40mm is a bit bold? Well, check out the 35mm girl size, which for a man of my girth becomes a very compelling option. Final verdict, at this price, it's not just a deal, it's a dare. And yeah, I might get one in for review. Stay tuned. When the depth charge driver first dropped, reviewers were already impressed with the quality at £200. Fast forward to today, and it's going for £59. It's the kind of deal that makes you double check whether you haven't accidentally clicked on a scam site. This thing is a proper unadulterated tool watch, 42mm case, brushed finish, 200 meters water resistance, screw down crown, sapphire crystal and the usual NH35 inside. Everything you want, nothing you don't, and not an ounce of fake vintage nonsense in sight. The design's dead simple, matte black and blue dial, crisp markers and a bezel that looks like it actually lines. It's not trying to be a subby clone, a 50 fathoms or your granddad's dusty Seiko. It's just a dive watch, and a damn solid one at that. Sure, it's 42mm, but thanks to its compact lugs and no-frills profile, it should wear many a wrist with ease. And while it won't flex on Instagram, it should survive actual use and still look sharp doing it. Final word, it's clean, tough and honest, and at £59, feels like someone fat-fingered the price tag. And as a side note, if you go check out the House of Fraser depth charge sale or Sports Direct, yep, as the GMT version is also on sale at a ridiculously low price. I've covered a few Addies dives on this channel, and honestly, they keep punching well above their weight. So when the AD 2078 showed up, I figured, yeah, this thing's probably gonna slap. You get in a 41mm stainless steel case, sapphire crystal with AR coating, ceramic bezel, a screw-down crown, and of course, the legendary NH35 ticking inside. That's a dive-ready spec sheet for what? £90. That's not a deal, that's a glitch in the matrix. But the real showstopper? That dialed is like a CRT TV, lost signal during a game of Tetris, total glitch art vibes, weird, wild, and way more personality than you'd expect on a budget diver. It's like if Rolex and Grand Seiko had a rebellious kid, and that kid said, nah, I'm living in a van and making surfboards. And honestly, I'm kinda here for it. Yes, I know, I said no usual suspects on this list, but hear me out. 5 years ago, saying you could snag a Vostok Amphibia for under £100 wouldn't have raised a single eyebrow. Different world back then. No lockdowns, no inflation spiral, no global chaos, just simple, weird little Russian divers at silly prices. Fast forward to now. Viruses, war, economic meltdown, but somehow, you can still get one. Just about. And this 060059 scuba dude has all the weird and wonderful Vostok goodness we've come to expect. retro steel tono case, acrylic crystal, that slightly off-kilter but undeniably cool dial, and of course, the wonderfully janky, weirdly indestructible in-house Vosh stop movement. Screw down crown, screw in case back, 200 meters water resistance, and a vibe that's more Cold War cosmonaut than shopping centre shelf filler. It's not perfect, it's not modern, and that's exactly the point. So yeah, at just under £100, this might be your last chance to grab one before the next global disaster bumps up the price well into the triple digits. You have been warned. Here's one that doesn't try to hide what it is. The Seastar 600T is a straight-up homage to the Doxa Sub 600T. Some might even call it close to a replica, and honestly, I can't argue with that. It is what it is. But you're getting a 40mm stainless steel case, sapphire crystal with AR coating, 200 meters of water resistance, and the reliable NH35 movement. Nothing flashy, but very solid, especially when coming in currently under £100. The case has that classic Doxa tool watch vibe, angular, chunky, and weird in all the right ways. Offset crown, tall slab sides, and a choice of ceramic or blasted steel bezel inserts, both with decent lume. Then there's the dials. Orange, turquoise, yellow, white or black, full Doxa energy. The bracelet, tapered, solid end links, milled clasp, no complaints. Look, it's not subtle in pretending to be a Doxa, but ignore that and it's just a loud, fun, capable diver with vintage soul and a sensible price tag. Now, how about a diver from a brand with actual history? This isn't some pop-up micro brand doing its best impression of a watch from the past. Accurist has gone digging through its own archives and resurrected the Marinograph in the form of the 1966 diver. But what do you get for your crisp £100? Well, let's not pretend it's blowing the doors off the spec sheet. You've got a basic Miyota quartz, a 42mm stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, and 200 meters water resistance. Nothing wild, but that's not the point. This isn't a spec monster, it's a nostalgia bomb. And on that vintage style leather strap, it's an absolute MILF of a watch. That's mid-century inspired, lovely and fun, obviously. And if you can stretch to £200, the automatic version steps in at a tasty proposition. Look, it's not the budget king on the list, but it's got heritage, charm, and a name people actually recognise. And sometimes, that's worth every penny. Now here's a watch that feels like it's got secret clearance level. The Cooper Submaster, a British mil-spec diver that's somehow moonlighting on AliExpress for 75 quid. Is it a knockoff? Doubtful. More like a quiet little arrangement with the factory. You get one through Cooper for £95, or you take the back alley route and save 20 quid. Your call, agent. What you're getting is pure 90s military throwback. The big steel case with turtle-like curves, a dial that doesn't waste your time, and a mineral crystal that screams vintage issue. Inside, a Miyota quartz that ticks forever, 10 years to be exact. Reliable, no nonsense, like the kind of movement you'd expect in a watch issued to somebody who jumps out of boats for a living. But the real kicker? 300 meters water resistance. This thing looks like it's built to survive a kickback, a cold shower, and a pub fight, in that order. It's an enigma, sure, but in their best possible way. And honestly, I kinda love that. Now, if you've been around it long enough, you'll know that I've got a thing for the Tag Heuer Accurator. I've got one. This is Lumtaz one. It's practically part of the family history. So when Cadison decided to take a swing at a homage, I was curious, until I saw version 1. A one-to-one photocopy with all the imagination of a HMRC tax inspector. But version 2? Now we're in business. Still unmistakably Accurator at a glance, but with just enough of its own flair not to feel like it's wearing someone else's clothes. It's been trimmed down slightly, and the new steel bezel adds a flash of modern edge without trying too hard. And if you squint, you might catch a cheeky hint of Breitling Chronomat swagger. Price? Under £85. And for that, you're getting sapphire, 200 meters water resistance, and a look that could fool a jeweler at 10 paces. It's not just a decent homage, it's a smart bit of brisware with style, spec, and just enough sass to make you think twice. So what do you wear on those classic days when you're driving in the English Channel at dawn, tearing up the Nürburgring by lunch, and charming your way through a Parisian bistro by candlelight? All on a budget of £70, with no time to wait for a slow boat from Shenzhen. Enter Pacific Wave. This British brand's swinging hard with a surprisingly capable all-rounder, a lush sunray green shimmer rippling with a subtle wave pattern that actually earns the Pacific name. That green and yellow bezel, bold but not garish. Think classic British racing car vibes. You've got a 42mm stainless steel case, chunky but wearable, and inside it, a quartz chronograph that tracks the time down to a second for up to an hour. Plus, a tucked-in date window because even chaos needs a calendar. Oh, and 200 meters water resistance. Whether you're surfing, swimming, or just splashing through the rain, this thing will take you all in its stride. And at just £70, you can pick one up today, in person, without waiting 3 weeks and crossing your fingers at customs. Do you really need another watch? Well, clearly, yes. But don't let that get in the way of a good segment outro. Now, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when somebody pitched the name Wish Do It in that brand meeting. But hey, odd name aside, this is a Chinese AliExpress brand that's starting to punch above its weight. And this model, the WSD 9987, is their swing at the iconic Zodiac Super Seawolf compression diver. You're getting the usual modern Ali brand recipe, 40mm stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel, and a respectable 150 meters water resistance. But let's be honest, it's not the spec sheet that'll stop you in your tracks, it's that dial, and that bezel. It's vintage flair meets contemporary cool, with colour options so tasty you'll struggle to pick just one. Honestly, they're borderline edible. Now, yes, I know, 150 meters isn't the full fat diver's 200, but come on, just look at it. Cheers for watching. If trawling the bargain bin for proper dive watches is your kind of fun, give this a like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.